continue onward. Lady Kuching? Hope she's okay.
Oops. What did I do?
Are you okay?
Hey! Coaching!
Uh-huh. What treasure hoarders?
We heard an explosion and thought it might be treasure hoarders sending signals to one another again.
I see. Sorry, that's not the case. I saw a few sticks of fireworks on the ground, so I fiddled with them and... Sure enough, it seems... I accidentally lit the fuse. Before I could react, the fireworks were... already up in the air.
Oh.
So no enemies? Whew. Well, that's good. We thought you might have been surrounded by bad guys.
I apologize. I didn't mean to alarm you. Fortunately, there are no more treasure hoarders in the area. It seems this matter has finally come to an end.
Well, that's good. And that's also good that you're okay, Kitchen.
Great! The case of the stolen fireworks is finally solved. Good thing we were able to get to the bottom of it. Otherwise, those beautiful fireworks would have gone to waste, and the whole show would be ruined. By the way, Kuching, you're the one in charge of the fireworks show, which means you know the best viewing spot, right?
Yes, of course. The best view should be from the Jade Chamber. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten my promise. But first, I have to drop by the Ministry of Civil Affairs and close this case.
Alright.
Leave the rest of this to me. You've already been a great help. Why don't you go for a walk around the city and I'll meet you when I'm done?
Okay, but
Sounds
we'll
fair.
be waiting for you.
Yes, I'll be there.
Kuching really is super busy. I'll meet you when I am done. How many times have we heard that already?
It's okay, Paimon.
Now Paimon gets why Lady Ningguang is so worried about Kuching. If she keeps working like this, she really will miss the lantern rite. Oh, yeah! We said we would meet him! And we've even collected a few opinions about taking a rest from work. Zhongli said he'd wait for us at third round knockout. Let's go find him.
Alright. But first, in the background, I saw more of those, I guess it was the chili flowers. I need to get some more of them. That was a lot of them.
Love it when the weather's like this.
Oh, there's Zhongli. Did my eye deceive me? At the last second, did I also see the new character?
Hey! Is that who Paimon thinks it is?
Yes, you are quite right. I shall take your wise words to heart, sir. They will certainly be most helpful in my next performance.
You are welcome, Miss Yun. Your willingness to hear suggestions is indeed impressive. It's no wonder your opera performance has only been getting better.
No, I'm afraid that's not always the case. Though I am still young, I can be quite arrogant at times. I do not always accept advice so readily, but your wisdom has spoken to me.
Zhongli! We're back!
Ah, you've returned.
You are also acquaintances?
Yes, we sure are!
Not everyone gets the privilege of meeting someone so knowledgeable and discreet as Mr. Zhongli. You are indeed well-connected, traveler.
I am flattered, Miss Yun. It is an honor for an ordinary person like myself to have met the traveler.
Wow. Did he really just say that?
I'm sure you must have matters to discuss. I have an appointment with Xinyan, so if you'll excuse me, I'll take my leave.
Alright, bye.
Very well. Goodbye, Miss Yun.
See you around, Yunjin!
So, tell me, what have you learned from your trip? I see. Well, traveler, what do you make of all their opinions?
Yeah, Paimon already started creating her own story on the way here. The goal is to convince Kuching to rest more with just a simple story, right? If that's the case, then Paimon thinks we can use food as our theme. Think about it. Who doesn't like delicious food? And when it comes to eating, everyone has an opinion. It's the perfect angle for our story. Paimon knows just what to write. Let's say there's a chef in Liyue who's very talented at cooking. He opens a massive restaurant at Liyue Harbor, and lots of customers come every day, so he's always super busy.
Alright. Sounds good so far. And I'm sorry, in the background if you hear my dogs. I am sorry.
Then, well,
Continue, Paimon. Continue with your story. Come on.
how should the story go from there? Ooh, that's good. But wait, didn't we say he's really good at cooking? That wouldn't make sense.
He is good cooking, but he's slacking.
There's no need to jump to the conclusion. Why don't you elaborate more on the chef?
More about the chef. You mean both good and bad things?
Yeah.
Yes. To gain one's empathy, there must be familiarity. I would like to understand this chef character of ours a little deeper.
Paimon didn't think this far. Why don't you take it from here?
Would gladly, Paimon.
Since you've spoken with others familiar with Kuching, why don't we integrate their thoughts into your story? That will allow it to become all the more convincing.
Okay. Let Paimon think. What did Cloud Retainer say? As one sows, so do they reap. And the joy of reaping is what one yearns for.
That was quite poetic, Paimon.
Oh, now Paimon remembers? Cloud Retainer said that if she spends all her efforts working on a machine with no time to test the outcome, then she'd be like a chef who doesn't get to try their own food. Problems are bound to pop up.
Yes, it is most unwise to put the cart before the horse.
Uh-huh. That's exactly what she said. So, let's make that happen to the chef in the story. He's
It's
great
done
at
good.
cooking,
This
but he
story's
can't
done
enjoy
good.
his own food.
But there must be a reason why he doesn't partake in the delicacies he makes.
Right! It's because he's super busy. He receives the customers, he takes the orders, and he does all the cooking himself.
Wow.
That should keep him busy enough. He's so busy every day that he doesn't even have time to take a break, which obviously also means he doesn't have time to eat. Hey, it's just a story. Besides, it's supposed to leave a powerful impression. Kinda like fireworks.
Yes, the chef is unwilling to delegate tasks to others. He's overconfident about his own cooking abilities and tries to accomplish everything on his own.
Paimon already kind of feels sorry for him. Oh, right! That's what the chef doesn't understand. And there's another saying. What was it again? Oh, yeah! A rested worker is an efficient worker. That's what Yamfe said. So, the chef gets busier and busier to the point where he can't stand up straight anymore, and he has big, dark circles under his eyes. The customers tell him to take a few days off to get some rest, but the chef won't listen.
His judgment is clouded by the chores before him. He is oblivious to mountains in the distance, the bigger picture.
Eventually, the chef falls ill, and his cooking becomes far worse than when he started. The customers can't convince him to rest, and they don't like his cooking anymore. So they stop coming to his restaurant.
Rest is always of great importance. Although we may come across various difficulties in our lives, pushing ourselves is never a good modus operandi. The story is quite simple, without embellishment, yet deeply meaningful. If our listener is sensible, then she should quickly grasp the meaning contained within.
You're saying Paimon made a good story?
Yes, Paimon, you made an awesome story.
Sincerity can allow one to see clearly, and earnest advice can provide sound direction. The story is indeed good. The Yuhang is an adroit leader. I am certain she will understand the message you are trying to convey.
Really? Score 1 for Paimon!
Given that the case involving the treasure hoarders has come to an end, she is inevitably tired. Now will be the ideal moment to speak with her. If all goes well, I think your story will be a success.
Hear that? Zhang Li says Paimon's story has what it takes. If anyone knows a good story, he does. Quick, let's go find Kuching.
Alright, let's go find overworking Kachin. It says she's over this way. Ah. Alright. Not sure we're gonna get there. If not, cut. We're here!
The matter has finally come to an end, but we mustn't lower our guard. Increase patrols around Chingsa village and coordinate our people at other fireworks locations to prevent any further theft.
Yes, Lady Kaching.
And by the way, the Ministry has requested the Millilith to increase security along travel routes. How is that proceeding?
It's all been taken care of. However, due to various reasons, there are still some blind spots in the city.
Have we drafted a new patrol map? Please, give me a copy and I'll look it over when I have time.
Understood. The patrol map is still being drafted, but it will be ready soon.
Okay. Also,
Oh, excuse me, Lady Kaching? Your friends are here.
Hi, Kuching. Still working? Aren't we going to see the fireworks?
Oh, yes. But I thought we'd meet at the Jade Chamber. Why have you come here?
Yeah, we walked around the city just like you told us to. It's very nice. But it would be even nicer if you could join us. Do you still have work to do?
It's nothing urgent, really. Just some trivial matters. But I wish to get it done as soon as possible.
Oh, no, 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 no. You need a break? Come, join us. What? Come and join us through the city.
You can leave it to us, Lady Kaching. You've been working hard for a long time, so you should get some rest. If I'm not mistaken, the Traveler is here to remind you to take a break.
That's right! Something so important that we must speak with you personally, right now!
Oh, really? In that case, Jingcheng, I'll let you take charge. Thank you.
Understood. I'll handle things from here.
Traveler and Paimon, let's go to the Jade Chamber. The view there is nicer and it's much more private. Perfect for talking.
Yes, yes, perfect for talking. Perfect to convict someone to take a break from their work.
Well, here we are.
Nice.
What was it you wanted to talk about?
Alright. Paimon, tell her the story.
Yeah, we want to tell you a story from this beautiful view. What do you say?
All right, I'm listening.
So it turns out we just heard some big news in Teyvat. A very talented chef is in trouble.
Oh, is the chef from Liyue? From Liuli Pavilion or Shinua Kiosk, perhaps?
No, the chef is from Mondstadt. Yeah, and he's really, really good. He had a restaurant right next to the city gate. He was super efficient, and his cooking was really delicious. So his restaurant had been getting more and more popular. In fact, he became so busy that the worker from the florist next door asked him, "Sir, why don't you find someone to help you in the restaurant?" But the chef brushed the idea aside, saying that he's the only one that can turn top-quality ingredients into world-class dishes. No one could help him.
Well, confidence is an essential trait for a good chef. He must be an excellent cook.
That's what everyone was saying. But surprisingly, after just 6 months, no one would dine in his restaurant anymore. Shocking, right? Do you have any guess why?
Maybe the chef had fallen ill, or...
Wrong answer! You tell her, Traveler!
Alright, here's how it goes. Because he was too stubborn.
Ding, ding, ding! Yep, it's because the chef was too stubborn. He would keep himself busy every day and try to make the most delicious dishes for all his guests. But he forgot that he's only human and needs time to eat and rest. He was so busy that he didn't even have time to eat and couldn't even taste his own cooking.
I know. Kachin, it is shocking. This poor chef. You need to understand his pain.
He was unwilling to seek help, even when he's tired, because he thought he's the only one capable of cooking the best dishes. Eventually, the people around him felt like they couldn't help him anyway, so they just left. And because he had forgotten the original taste of his dishes, he was no longer a good chef. In the end, his restaurant had no choice but to close for good.
Saddened.
Oh. I see. He's overly confident, which disappoints the people around him, and he's so impatient that he ends up losing sight of his original purpose. So, that's the whole story?
Yep, the whole story. What do you think?
Oh, yep, that's the whole thing. Hey! Didn't you just say that Paimon made a great story?
Did you come up with that story?
Oh, no, we just,
How should I describe it? The story is very simple, and I suppose the ending isn't really surprising. Think before you act and don't overexert yourself. Of course, I understand these concepts in theory, but when tasks come to me personally, it is easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. Yes. Up in the mountains, we can see the mist and the clouds. Out in the ocean, we can see fog on the sea. That's why, from time to time, we need to examine where we are, remove the fog, and feel our heart.
So, how do you feel now, Kuching?
How do I feel?
Yeah, tell us how you feel.
Deep down inside, I wish I could slow down time. That way, I could finally take the opportunity to walk around the city, see the people I wish to see, and watch the fireworks. Thinking back, I used to be even more impatient. My colleagues would resign after just 3 months of working with me. You're completely right. It's important to know your boundaries.
Yes, that's what everyone's been trying to tell you, and especially Lady Ningguang.
But I am getting better. You can tell, can't you? And I did make a promise with you, didn't I?
Yes.
We agreed to enjoy the fireworks show together this year. So,
So.
happy Lantern Rite, Traveler and Paimon. I'm very happy to be here and enjoy this moment together with you. I've
Aw.
poured all my best effort into this fireworks show. And now that we're here, I sincerely hope you will enjoy it. I feel very fortunate to be right here, enjoying the fireworks and enjoying the view of Liu Harbor.
Happy Lantern Rite.
Happy Lantern Rite. And thank you.
Ooh. Oh. Oh, look like the fireworks are about to start. Yay!
Lady Kuching, the item Lady Ningguang prepared for you has arrived.
Oh.
Traveler, wait here for a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Huh?
You better, Jory,
Must be
get
something
back.
important.
You better get back here. Hurry up. Ka-ching. Aw. Look at those two.
Traveler, Paimon? Ningguang had her personal tailor make it for me. Said it's an imported style. Well,
Ooh.
do you like it?
Love it.
Beautiful!
That is beautiful.
It's time. Traveler, please enjoy the grand finale of this year's Lantern Rite. The fireworks show.
Isn't it beautiful?
Hey, check you out. Looking pretty fancy.
Only a true treasure catches the eye of Captain Beidou. Seems I've struck gold with this one.
Did you see that? Way over there, a firework that looks just like a pig!
So it does.
Oh wow, that's
Hey
loud.
everyone, time to eat. Food's ready.
Ooh.
No better way to celebrate.
Dr. Baiju, sorry to trouble you again this year.
No trouble at all.
Lantern Rite.
Aw.
Happy Lantern Rite.
Happy Lantern Rite!
That was awesome! I enjoyed that! That was so nice! And your outfit is so beautiful. But that was... Wait, the fireworks? Where are the fireworks? Oh, I thought they were gonna continue. I see the lantern still down there. But I thought the... Well, all I gotta say, that was beautiful. Very beautiful. I love it. I enjoyed it. That was awesome. I'm just speechless on that one. I'm glad I worked my butt off to complete the challenge and everything so I can experience this Year of the Tiger festival. Lunar New Year. That was just awesome. Yes.
Traveler, please, over here. It has been a while since you joined the Adventurers Guild. Are your adventures going smoothly? Is that so? Apart from your own skills, reliable teammates are also indispensable when adventuring. Another person to count on is always good after all. But recruiting such dependable companions is no easy matter, is it?
Yep, and it's even harder to get a guide as good as Paimon.
Ah, yes. I do have some information that may be of help to you. Let me consult our records. Ah, there it is. There's been a certain blonde stranger who arrived in Mondstadt lately, dressed in most unusual clothes.
Blonde. Dresses all funny. It feels like Paimon's heard this one before. Wait, do you mean... Does that stranger's face look anything like hers?
Like the honorary knights? No, they couldn't look more different. This stranger is a very tall man, and even has an eye patch.
Seriously? How does this have anything to do with Kaya? Eye patches can't prove that you're related anyway.
That stranger declined the guild's invitation, so I can't say that I know anything about the relationship between him and Mr. Kaya. Nonetheless, you can look for him if you're interested. Perhaps he might accept your commission instead. After all, it is not uncommon for some adventurers to not want to be limited by the guild, but be happy to accept a fellow adventurer's requests. And should the stranger be a strong adventurer indeed, he would certainly be a big help on your journey. Please don't talk down on yourself like that. You are the honorary knight of the Knights of Favonius, after all. Your deeds are the stuff of song for all the bards in the city, even now. Well, as to further news about him, you may want to ask Mr. Lawrence. He stands guard at the city gate, so he may know something about that stranger. I wish you every success, adventurer.
Honorary knight. Is something the matter? A stranger with an eye patch. Let me think. Oh yeah, I remember seeing someone like that. A blonde stranger dressed in unusual garb. He was wandering all over Mondstadt at first, which I found rather suspicious. So I decided to keep an eye on him for a while. I lost him pretty quickly. Still, I didn't think that this was such a huge matter that we needed our outrider to pursue him by air. As long as Master Jean is here, there's nothing to fear from some suspicious, unusual-looking person.
That might be true, but if it were up to Jean, she'd take this way more seriously.
That is true. But on the other hand, knowing that Master Jean may overreact to the situation is all the more reason to not tell her, no? Anyways, oh yeah, he was at Wagner's smithy for a while before I tried tailing him. He might have said something to Wagner. You should go ask him. Maybe he has more news about our stranger.
Mondstadt welcomes you.
What? You need something? Here, I remember him. He showed up a few days ago asking to buy a bunch of forging materials. Can't say I've heard of any of the materials he mentioned, though. He then had a look at the weapons in my shop before leaving. I've heard that he can be found drinking at the Angel's Share. If the Knights or the Guild want to get hold of him, that's the only place to be.
The Angel's Share? Well, Master Diluc probably has his eye on that stranger too then. Anyway, let's go to the Angel's Share and have a look.
You'll find no second rate.
What will it be? Grape juice or apple cider?
Hey, Charles! Have you seen a blonde stranger who wears an eye patch around here by any chance?
That I have. He comes here every night. Just to drink, though. Doesn't order anything else. He even sometimes mixes his own drinks after he orders them. I don't know anything else about him, but from his selections and mixes, I'd say that he's quite the connoisseur.
And what's Master Diluc's opinion?
Why, I just gave it to you. Quite the connoisseur.
Investigating everything as always. Guess that's Diluc for you.
If you're looking for that gentleman, he ordered some new bottle of wine in advance yesterday. So he should be here today, too. There's too many raucous patrons on the first floor, so if you want to wait, best to go to the second. Ah, welcome, sir. The wine that you previously ordered is here.
He's really here? Let's go downstairs and have a look. Wow, he's got no intention of paying us any mind, huh?
A traveler, you say? Why are you traveling? Well, that's as good a reason as any. Sit down over there, then.
So, guess we've broken the ice. What a weird guy.
That little one beside you.
Uh-huh, we're the best of friends.
It's indeed a good thing to have someone accompany you on your travels. My name's Dainsleif. I suppose you have some business with me? Sure.
And he was so cold just a moment before. Paimon's got a bad feeling about this.
But I will require advance payment. 500 mora, and 3 answered questions. The 500 is a one-time fee, and we'll settle the questions in a moment. That's it.
Well, now Paimon's got a really bad feeling. That kind of compensation can't be right.
Ah, thank you. Now, as for my questions, I'd like you to answer them here and now. The answer to a question says nothing about right and wrong, only about differences in attitude. I only wish to know what your choices are. You need only answer. Question 1. The crisis Mondstadt faced was resolved by an alliance between yourself and that Animo Archon who calls himself Venti. Who, in your view, was the key to ending that crisis? I know everything that I should. Well, answer the question. Is that your answer? I see. Question number 2. Rex Lapis, who has defended Liyue Harbor for millennia on end, used his gnosis to lay down a contract to end all contracts, of which the stipulations are still unknown. Who do you think will defend Liyue Harbor in the future, now that they've lost their deity? So that's your answer? I see. Now for my final question. This world has people who gained visions, and those who did not. Which of the two do you think hold more importance in the eyes of the gods? So, this is your answer then. It seems that you're different from him. I'll take that 500 mora. And now I also understand your views on this world. As we agreed, you may now commission me. That said, I only take commissions related to the Abyss Order. Like you, I am currently on a journey. You intend to find your sibling, while I wish to oppose the Abyss. Ugh. Those creatures that serve the Abyss are the fangs and claws by which the Order spreads chaos in this world. I have come to Mondstadt this time while on the trail of an Abyss Herald.
An Abyss Herald?
An even more twisted abyssal being, one that commands the Abyss Mages.
Oh, that's right! We've just been fighting against the Fatui and Liyue, who are human too! We haven't encountered the non-human Abyss Order at all!
There's some reason behind that, I'm afraid. It's possible that they may have been under orders to avoid your path.
Oh, that does sound pretty dangerous. Maybe they're looking for a better time to ambush us or something. Uh-huh! We're super-duper strong!
That manner, it's just like his. Well then, let's go see for ourselves, shall we? According to the leads I have on hand, the Abyss Order has re-infiltrated the Temple of the Falcon. Let's meet up at the temple. Perhaps your questions about the Abyss will be answered there. This abandoned temple does bear some marks of the Abyss, the Falcon of the West. Though it can soar in the wind, it ultimately does naught but hover under the light of the gods. Oh, it's nothing. Let's head inside. The scent of the Abyss is getting stronger. It's not far now.
Paimon wonders what the Abyss Heralds look like. Do they look something like the Abyss Mages?
Let's head further in first. If we do see that creature, that'll spare me the explanation either way.
Boom! It's nothing.
Don't waste my time. Your life is mine. Rude. Give up.
I'm out of here. Twinjutsu.
Oh, so sorry. Freeze! You're getting on my nerves. Dodge this!
It's nothing. It's nothing. Submit! You dare to hit me! Boom boom! Give up!
This! Cool it!
Just a few Abyss mages? Seems like that herald might have already left. The Abyss. It is chaos, and it is also destruction. It is a morass of inconceivable madness that encroaches upon this world's very foundations. That is why even the Dragon of the East, a servant of a deity, was unable to resist its corrosive powers. And the creatures of the Abyss desire nothing less than the overthrow of a world ruled by the Archons.
You seem to know a lot about the Abyss, Dame.
Well, we do have some history. I suppose that's as far as chit-chat goes. We should head to Wolvendom. Judging by the traces I'm following, their next appearance may be within the territory of that old wolf. Perhaps we may find our Abyss Herald there.
waiting for us up ahead? We should meet up with him quick, in case the wolves decide they don't like him.
Lord of Wolvendom, great Wolf King of the North, sharp of fang and keen of claw, and yet dwelling here only. No, nor does it know me. I only know these things because a previous traveling companion of mine once wanted to hear its story. All right, let's go see if that Abyss Herald has stopped by here.
But where do we begin? Are you standing here because of these strange bonfires, Dane?
Indeed. See that, floating above the flames? It's an abyssal spell. Knowing what I do of the Order's habits, they've probably left similar marks behind elsewhere. Let's have a look nearby.